Namo Namaha Bhavtam Sarvesham Hartam Swagatam. Welcome back to the channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And as you can all notice, I am back in my original setting. So I'm like that migratory bird. When the summer approaches, I flock outside to my outside room. And when the winter approaches, I flock back again inside. So that is why that original setting. Anyways, again continuing in a series learning Sanskrit through Gita. Today we will decode the 21st shloka of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Before starting the decoding of the shloka, there are a couple of things I want to address here. First is, I have created a PDF sheet, and in that sheet, I have listed down all the sandhis, all the different sandhi rules, the consonant sandhi, the vowel sandhi, and the visarga sandhi. I have listed them down along with their Ashtadhyayi sutras. So if you can see on the screen, this is the Sandhi Sutra PDF sheet that I've created. It has some guidelines that can help you to better decode the Sandhi Sutras. There are the categories. So this is the Vowel Sandhi, the Swara Sandhi. Then all the different Sandhis, Guna Sandhi, Vriddhi Sandhi, Dirgha Sandhi. So you have the Sandhi mechanism, that how do we understand this Sandhi? That what is the Purva Pada, what is the para, what comes afterwards, and then what happens, what is the Sandhi change that happens. So this is how we understand the Sandhi. And here you can see the sutra. So suppose for this dirgha sandhi, you have this akasavarne dirgha. So this is the Ashtadhyayi sutra that is there. This adenguna, this vriddhi radaichya. So this is actually not the sandhi sutra. This is more like a sanya sutra. This is a definition sutra. But apart from these adenguna and vriddhi radaichya, all else that you see, akasavarne dirgha, then iko yanachi for yana sandhi, then echo yava yavaha, this is for the ayadi sandhi, the yantavanta desha sandhi. So anyways, you have the sandhi mechanism, then you have the related Ashtadhyayi Sutra, and in the last column you have some additional information that will help you better understand these sutras. So Adeng Gunaha or Iko Yanachi, if you are reading the sutra, then these are few additional information that will help you to better understand the sutras. So you have the Swara Sandhi, then you have this Vyanjana Sandhi, and then you also have this Visarga Sandhi in the end, Visarga Sandhi. So anyways, this is the PDF sheet. We have tried to compile all the different Sandhis along with the Ashtadhyayi Sutras and an information to understand them, to help you understand these sutras. You download that PDF file. The link will be in the description box from this video onwards. The idea here is simple. From the very first shloka of Bhagavad Gita of chapter 1 up till this video, so we have covered 47 plus 20, that is 67 shlokas. And in these 67 shlokas, we have almost covered all the sandhis that we are ever going to use in Sanskrit. So mostly all the Sanskrit, all the sandhis, 99% sandhis are done. They just keep on repeating again and again with each shloka. So we have gone through all the sandhis, we know how they work. So it is good time that now we start to familiarize ourselves with the Ashtadhyayi Sutras that belong to them. Because up until now, when we understand sandhi, so we understand sandhi in the context of the shloka that we are decoding. So maybe there are few components of sandhi that we let go. We don't pay attention to those components. But once we understand the sutra, the Ashtadhyayi Sutra that belongs to that sandhi, then we understand that sandhi in its full picture, in its full completion. So now is the time that we start to familiarize ourselves with the Ashtadhyayi Sutras also. A lot of you may already know these things. If not, then that PDF sheet, you can download that PDF sheet, go through it, try to familiarize yourself with it. It have some guidelines also and on how you can approach these sandhi rules. To understand any sutra, you should have a basic knowledge of what are Maheshwar Sutra. So what are Maheshwar Sutra and what are Pratyaharas that are formed from these Maheshwar Sutras. So all of these, I hope all of you may have at least heard of these things, Maheshwar Sutra, Pratyahara. If not, you have gone through them. So just take a basic idea of them and try to familiarize yourself with the information that is given in the sheet. And in future, I will make a separate video in which we will talk about this thing, that how we can approach Maheshwar Sutra, how we create Pratyahara, what are Pratyahara, how we can use Pratyahara to understand the Ashtadhyayi Sutras. Because in the beginning, it may look a bit intimidating because the language of Sutra is a bit different, no, than the usual language of Sanskrit, of the shlokas that we are so used to. So the language is different, but once you know the logic behind it, then most of it can be understood easily. So just download that PDF sheet for now, go through it, whatever sandhi happens in the shloka that we are decoding in this particular video, just for the fun of it, go and open that Ashtadhyayi Sutra and try to see that, okay, the Ashtadhyayi Sutra for Dirgha Sandhi is this. Okay, the Ashtadhyayi Sutra for some Swara Sandhi is this. Just have fun with it. The second point is, from this video onwards, when you will download the PDF sheet, so you will see an additional column, and in that column there will be an alternative word for each word of shloka. So what I mean is, if in the shloka I am using, suppose you say janati. So janati is he knows, janati. So there is an alternate word for this janati. That instead of saying saha janati, he knows, I can also say that saha vetti or saha veda. So this vetti is coming from another dhatu, that is vid dhatu. That also means to know. Janati, it came from nya dhatu. That also means to know. Then you also have buddha dhatu. That also means to know. So what I mean to say is, for every word in Sanskrit, just try to question yourselves that can I use an alternate word for this. So you see this word nityam. So try and question yourself, what synonym can you use for this word nityam? And again, based on the context also, based on the meaning also, so you can use this shashwatam. And then suppose you see this word katham. So katham we know is avyay. Okay, and this means how. But again, if you have to replace it with some other word in Sanskrit, so you can use kena prakarena. Because this kena prakarena, this is simply by what means, in what way. That is what this katham denotes. Okay, so similarly for every word in the shloka, I will write down an alternative word. Okay, and see again, the idea is same. That since a lot of shlokas have gone by, we have practiced a lot of words. So now we can challenge ourselves that whenever we are reading any Sanskrit word, just for the fun of it, challenge yourself that can you replace this word with some another word? Because that is how you will challenge your vocabulary. That is how you will challenge your understanding of different verbal roots, different verb forms, trying to memorize all of them. So just this is how you are challenging yourself to be better in language. So these are the two things that I'll do from this shloka onwards. The first thing is again the Sandhi sheet, which has the Ashtadhyayi Sutras. Make yourself familiar with it. And second thing is, with each shloka, the PDF sheet that I attach, it will also have an alternative word for each word of the shloka, just for your practice. So please go through that sheet. Please go through the Ashtadhyayi Sutras, at least of those sandhis that are in this particular shloka, that the one that we are decoding. If this shloka has 3 sandhis, so at least for those 3 sandhis, go through that Ashtadhyayi Sutra sheet also. Just try to figure out these things, try to memorize these sutras. They help a great deal. By the way, I also want to mention that this Sandhi Sutra PDF sheet, I am able to compile this sheet using 2 very good sources. First is Sanskrit for Shastra Study. This is a playlist that is on YouTube. A lot of you will be familiar with this playlist. If not, you should definitely check out this playlist. This is run by Vedji. So beautiful, elaborative playlist to help you get better in Sanskrit language. So I have used that playlist, and I have also used the book Enjoyable Sanskrit Grammar by Medha Michika. So Medha Michika, she is an author. She has authored 3 books on Sanskrit. This level 1, level 2, level 3. So I've used those books and these videos of Vedji, and again the ashtadhyayi.com website also to cross-reference these things. So I've majorly used these 3 sources to compile this sheet. So anyways, these were the couple of things that I wanted to address. I hope these things help you get better in this language. But again, coming back to a shloka in hand, the 21st shloka, this particular shloka very similar to its in its meaning, in its context, in its grammar as the 19th shloka that we decoded. How so? So without wasting any more time, let's quickly dive in today's video. Okay, so this is our 21st shloka. Let me go through the shloka once. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajama vyayam katham sa purushav partha kam ghatiyati hantikam. Okay, so this is the shloka, and this as usual is the Sandhi Vichcheda version of the shloka. So as you can already spot, so we have a Dirgha Sandhi that is happening here, Veda Vinashinam. Then we have a Visarga Lopa Sandhi that is happening here. This Visarga is getting, Lopa is getting disappeared. And then if you see this word, Enama Jama Vyayam. So this a Sandhi is not happening here, because you see that just a consonant that is joining with the adjacent vowel. So there is no change. So Sandhi is not happening. This is just how different words combine in Sanskrit. You may all know this. But then we have another Visarga Lopa Sandhi that is happening here, Saha. And then I don't think you have another Sandhi. So I think only this Dirgha Sandhi and this Visarga Lopa Sandhi. So now you can go through these sandhis in the usual PDF sheet, and then for these 2 sandhis you can refer to that Sandhi Sutra, Ashtadhyayi Sutras, that Sandhi PDF sheet that I'm attaching now, and you can go through the Ashtadhyayi Sutra of these 2 sandhis also. So Again, familiarizing ourselves with those Ashtadhyayi Sutras as well. Okay, so all the PDF sheets you can download from the link in the description box. Let us now jump directly to the decoding of the shloka. And we are starting with this Kriya Pada Veda. Veda, this means some third person, he or she knows. Okay, he knows, she knows in that sense. And this Veda, this is coming from Vid Dhatu. So Vid Dhatu means to know, to understand in that sense. And this Veda, so the form here is third person Prathama Purush, Ek Vachanam and Lat Lakar, that is present tense in Sanskrit. So in these three properties, this with verbal root, this changes into Veda. Okay, so we are starting with this Kriya Pada. And again, when you see this word Veda, so just ask yourself a question that can you replace this with some synonym, with some other Kriya Pada? So of course you can replace it with Janati. Sah Janati, he or she knows. So instead of this Veda, I can also write Janati. Okay, so try to ask yourself these questions. In the 19th shloka, you saw the verb that is Vetti. Okay, you saw this form, Vetti. So this Vetti and this Veda, both of them are coming from that same Vid Dhatu. And the form was also same. It is the Prathama Purush. It is the third person Ek Vachanam form. It is just that this Vid Dhatu in this Prathama Purush Ek Vachanam has these two forms. It is Veda and it is Vetti. So in the 19th shloka we saw this use Vetti. Here we are seeing this form Veda. Okay, again implying the same thing that some third person knows. Okay, so we are starting with this Kriya Pada and of course the question will be that Kaha Veda, that who knows? And in response we get is Yaha Veda. Yaha. So we of course know this is coming from Yad Pratipadika. So it is a pronoun, it is a Sarvanama Pratipadika and this defines one who. And Yaha Veda, so the form here is the Prathama Vibhakti Ek Vachanam form or Pullinga. This also you have to notice because for Strilinga, this will become Ya. Okay, so for Strilinga Ya, for Napunsak Lingam it is Yat and for Pullinga it is Yah. Yah Veda, one who knows. We are talking about some random arbitrary person, that one who knows. So I have the Kriya, I have the subject and now I am asking the object that okay, Yah Veda, one who knows, but one who knows what or one who knows whom. Basically inquiring about the object of the Kriya. So we get Yah Enam Veda. And this Enam again is a Sarvanama. It is again a pronoun. And this is coming from Idam Pratipadika. So Idam Pratipadika is used to denote this. Okay, when we point this, in that sense we use Idam Pratipadika. We have another pronoun also, that is Etad, right? So to represent this, we have this Etad, this pronoun also, and we have Idam also. This Enam is coming from this Idam Pratipadika. The form here is, of course, Dutiya Vibhakti, the second word case. Why? Because this is the object of this Kriya. That Yaha Enam Veda, one who knows this. So this is the object, so Dutiya Vibhakti Ek Vachanam. Okay, and now see, within the context of the shloka and all the previous shlokas, we know that this is pointing to this self. So through all the previous shlokas, the main theme here is the self, the Atma, the Atman. And this Atman, this is a Pullinga Pratipadika, right? So since this is pointing towards this Atman, so of course this is also in the Pullinga, in the masculine gender form. Okay, so Yah Enam Veda, one who knows this self. Okay, one who knows this self. This is what Krishna is saying. And if we'll move on. So I'm asking a question that Kitrisham, that one who knows this self to be what? Kitrisham. So Krishna is describing this self using these four different words. Avinashinam, Nityam, Ajam, Avyayam. And see, just by looking at this word, you can already know since this Enam, this is being described using these four words. So the form here is, of course, the same as this Enam, the Dutiya Vibhakti Ek Vachanam form. Okay. And so by looking at them, you can identify their Pratipadika, from what Pratipadika they are coming. So Avyayam, this is coming from Avyaya Pratipadika. Ajam, this is coming from Aja Pratipadika. Nityam, this is coming from Nitya Pratipadika. And Avinashinam, this is coming from Avinashin. So there is a slight difference. All these Nitya, Aja, Avyaya, all these Pratipadika are simple Akaranta Pratipadika. But this Avinashinam, this is coming from a Nakaranta Pratipadika, Avinashin. Okay, we have seen such kind of Pratipadika before also. Sannyasin, from which we get the word Sannyasi. And you have Manuharin, from which you get the word Manuhari. So same, Avinashin, from which in Prathama Vibhakti Ek Vachanam, you get the word Avinashi. But in Dutiya Vibhakti, it is Avinashinam. That is what you see here. Okay, so just I wanted to point out this difference between this word Pratipadika and all these different akarant pratipadika. Okay, I hope it is clear. And now coming to the meaning, avinashin, this means indestructible, something that is indestructible. Nitya, that means eternal. Aja, that means unborn. And avyaya, that means unchangeable or immutable. Okay, this avyaya also means inexhaustible. That vyaya is to spend something. That expenditure is vyaya, and to negate it, avyaya. So that means something that is inexhaustible, something that does not exhaust. So in that sense also, right? Okay, so I hope these words are clear. And now, one very important thing. Again, in the 19th shloka, I hope you were clear about the difference between an adjective and a complement. That there are some words that are adjective to a noun, but then there are words that are complement to that noun. And these four words, they are also the complement. And why? Because you see the way we are presenting them, and we are also translating their meaning. Generally, when we have an adjective, so we place the adjective before the noun or the pronoun. Okay, because beautiful boy, sundarah balakaha. Okay, so the adjective before the noun. But all these words are the complement of this noun. Okay, because I want to convey that one who knows this self as indestructible, as eternal, one who knows this self to be unborn, one who knows this self to be immutable. So, see the difference, that I am not saying that one who knows this indestructible self. No, I mean to say that one who knows this self as indestructible, one who knows this self as eternal. So, these are four words that are complementing this noun. Okay, it is like an additional information for this noun. All this thing we spoke about in the 19th shloka. So I hope for all of you this thing is clear, the difference between adjective and a complement. So just that point again, that these four words are not an adjective in the common sense that we take. These are the complement, and since this enam here is the object here, right? Dutiya vibhakti, it is a karma of this kriya, the object. So these are also known as the objective complement. These are the objective complement of this enam. So just some technical words that I'm telling you here. So up till this point, what we have is Yah Veda, one who knows this self, this Atma, to be indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable. Okay, so this is what Krishna is saying. So Sahapurusha, that person. So he's saying that one who understands the true nature of the self, Sahapurusha, that person. So this Saha, of course, is coming from the Sarvanam, the pronoun Pratipadika Tad. And this form Saha here is the Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam form of this Tad. Again in masculine gender, in pullinga form. See, if this Saha was alone, if this Saha was without this Purusha, then I would have translated it as he. Because then that is what I mean, right? Saha karyam karoti. He does the work, right? But when I say that Saha Purusha karyam karoti, then I will say that that person does the work. So both of them are representing the same thing. But based on the context, this is how we will change the way they are written. So Saha, this will denote he or that based on the way we are using it in the sentence. Sahapurusha, that person. So Krishna is talking about that person, one who has realized the true nature of self. What he is saying, I'm asking what. So Krishna continues, Katham, Kam, and Cha. See, this Cha again is not in the shloka, I am just putting it for my own reference. So basically, this Katham, this means how. This Katham is an indeclinable, this is an Avyay. So we are already familiar with this Avyay before also. When we inquire how, in what way, in what manner. So when we inquire about that, so we use this Avyay Katham. And this Kam is again coming from the question pronoun. What is the question pronoun? So the Kim, that Kim Pratipadika, from which we get Shabdrupa like Kaha. So Ka is who, or we get Kasya. So Kasya is whose. So whenever we have to ask any sort of questions, so all these questions, all these pronouns comes from the Kim Pratipadika. Right? From that same pronoun we are getting this Kam. And this is in the Dutiya Vibhakti form, in the Dutiya Vibhakti Ekvachanam form, because I want to inquire about whom. That when we say no, that to whom you gave this file, or to whom are you giving the order. So when we want to inquire about the object of the Kriya, so we are using this Kam. Okay, so in that sense. So basically two questions, that how and Kam is to whom. And we get two actions also. So we get Hanti, that means kills, and we get Ghatayati, that means causes to kill. Okay, so these are basically all the words that we are getting from this second line of the shloka. And what is the full cohesive meaning of this? We'll come to it. But first, let us understand these words, hanti and ghatayati. So see, both of these kriya pada, hanti and ghatayati, both of them are coming from the same dhatu, han dhatu. So for this particular form, hanti, again, the dhatu is han dhatu, that means to kill. And this form is the prathama purush, that is the third person, ekvachanam, and again the present tense lat lakara. So in prathama purush ekvachanam lat lakara, han changes into hanti. That means some third person he kills. Okay. So this is how we are getting this hanti and this ghatayati. So this same dhatu, same han dhatu, this is being modified using nich pratyay. And again, we have seen this pratyay also so many times before. This suffix is used in the sense of to cause the action. That someone, he himself is not doing the action, but he's causing some other person to do that action. So han dhatu means to kill, but when we modify this with this nich pratyay, so the meaning becomes he causes to kill. That's saha hanti, he kills. He himself is the doer. But here, saha ghatayati, he is more or less like a catalyst. He is more or less like an agent that he causes to kill. He causes some other person to perform this killing. So you can think like he becomes an inspiration or he becomes a reason for some other person to commit that action. Okay, that is why we add this, that causes to whatever action is when we are modifying the verb root using this nich pratyay. So this han dhatu when modified using nich pratyay, then again we are using that same properties, the prathama purusha ek vachanam lat lakar, and now the form is ghatayati. Okay, due to some internal sandhi rules, some internal changes, when we modify using this nich pratyay, so the form changes due to some internal rules. We don't want to go deep into those rules. Just remember the form that this is ghatayati. Okay, the form becomes ghatayati. Anyways, the meaning of this second line is, first in the first line Krishna said that one who knows this self to be eternal, one who knows this self to be indestructible. Basically Krishna is saying that one who realizes the true nature of self, one who understands the true nature of self, how can that person, how can such a person kill or cause to kill? And he's also saying that how and basically to whom can such a person kill or cause to kill? Okay, basically Krishna is saying that once you understand the true nature of reality, then you also understand that this killing or this death is just limited to this physical body, is just limited to this gross body, this sthula sharira. It is not that you are able to kill the self, the true nature of the things. So if you identify yourself with the true nature, then can you really kill someone, or can you feel that you are responsible for someone else's killing? In that sense, he's saying here, Arjuna. Because Arjuna, he is grieving so much that if I kill my grandparents, if I kill my cousins, if I kill my family members, then this will incur sin. But with this logic, he is unable to see the real dharma, the real dharmic reason behind his fight here. And that reason is to uphold the dharma. That reason is to uphold the righteousness. When you are fighting for upholding the righteousness, then why you are identifying with such petty things? That is what Krishna is trying to imply here. Okay, so I hope all these words are clear. Let us see the Anvay along with the translation to get the full meaning. So we are of course starting with this Partha. Partha. Krishna is addressing Arjuna with this name Partha. So, Hey Partha. Basically, Hey Partha or O Arjuna, Yah Veda. One who knows. Enam. One who knows this self. One who knows this self to be indestructible, to be eternal, to be unborn, and to be immutable. So one who knows this self to be indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable, basically one who understands the true nature of self, katham. In what way? In what way? In what manner? How? And come. And to whom can Sahapurusha? And to whom can such a person? Sahapurusha basically means that person. And that person means this Yah, that one who has understood the true nature of self. So Katham and come. In what way and to whom can Sahapurusha, such a person, Hanti, can such a person kill, or Ghatayati, can such a person cause to kill? Okay. So anyways, that was the entire translation of the shloka. See again, Krishna is just pointing towards the equanimity of mind and the correct identification, basically the negation of that I, that ego. That if you can understand the true nature of things, if you understand the true nature of reality, then that I, that ego, that I am the one who is doing this, I am the one who is doing that. So that ego will vanish away. because in the grand scheme of things, you are merely there to play your part. And that for Arjuna here is to fight this war. Why? Because you have to uphold dharma. That is the dharma of the person, right? To uphold the dharma, to act in a righteous way. So you have to fight for that. Kshatriya, as a Kshatriya, you have to do that. Just play your part. Just do the actions. Don't be unnecessarily attached with the realities of life. Identify with the true nature of things, and then you can get rid of all the dejection, of all the sorrow that comes by facing the realities of life. So have a healthy detachment to this thing. Play your part with all honesty, with all heart, for the righteousness, for upholding the dharma. That is all you need to do here, and that is what Krishna is again hinting here, that form correct identification with the true nature of things, true nature of self, and get rid of this I, this ego, this ahamkara. So that is something he's hinting here. But anyways, I hope all the grammar part and everything was clear. Again, that PDF sheet is there. Along with the PDF sheet, now you also have the Ashtadhyayi Sandhi Sutras. That PDF sheet also, go through them, practice in your own time these things. I'll meet you in another video with another shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy, keep learning Sanskrit. Vayam punha milamaha. धन्यवाद.